Welcome to Quilting with Mary Beth and Donna. We get back together after a long hiatus, and then we talk to Louann Jobe Fisher, who made a splash at the International Quilt Festival. Thanks for being with us today. Hello, Mary Beth.
Hello, Donna. I almost said good morning.
That's okay.
My morning.
I almost said good morning too.
I guess we
How,
could have. No one would have known the difference, would they?
no. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I was just looking as I was logging in that the last podcast we submitted was August 8th. So it's been more than 2 months since we've gotten together and done this.
Yeah, we've been
It
busy, haven't we?
it's been fabulous.
It has been.
Uh, so 2 months. I don't even remember where we were 2 months ago.
I don't either.
But why don't you give us an update on your room?
Well, it's finished, and for the most part, he has to hang towel racks and toilet paper holders and all that stuff in the bathroom. We did go Saturday, and I don't even know what day it is. No, was I at a retreat Saturday? We went sometime and got paint. Oh, no, I wasn't at a retreat Saturday. We went Saturday and got paint for touch-up paint for the room because when the plumber was, connecting hoses and stuff, he evidently turned the water on to make sure it was gonna work before he hooked anything up, and the hose he was holding in his hand sprayed blocky brown water everywhere. Up on the ceiling and everything, so Rod had to repaint where all that happened. So, that's happening, but, otherwise excuse me, otherwise, my room is completely finished, so, I ordered blinds either last night or this morning. It's been a long day already, I can't remember, and I've decided to go ahead and put up the 2-inch faux wood blinds in here because I don't want the sun to beat in on my fabric. I don't know that it would because I've only got a north-facing and a south-facing window, and the east-facing windows have, uh, the porch over them. So I don't know if it really
Yeah, you
would, but
shouldn't have problems.
yeah.
I don't
So,
know, do you get freaked out about people looking in your windows at night?
yeah, that part kinda bothers me. I
Yeah,
mean, not
I can see that.
facing the woods actually, but the driveway
Mm.
and the north side, I kind of think about that. So, um, but I probably would think about it if I was sitting here at night facing the woods too, and I couldn't see out there, but they could see my lovely face in the window, sewing, so maybe blinds would be a good idea.
Yeah,
We
I
did
could see
see
that.
we did see a guy on our game camera down in the woods, and we don't know if it was our next door neighbor or if it was some other person, but that was in the spring, I think, or last winter or something. He still shouldn't have been there, so he had to
Yeah.
walk a little ways to get up to the camera on our property, so
I, when we first moved here, I hated I was afraid. I wasn't necessarily afraid about somebody being outside, but I was afraid of walking up to a window and being scared by somebody looking in.
Right, I know, I always think of that too.
So now so I used to like, I wouldn't go in the kitchen unless it was dark, I wouldn't turn the light on in the kitchen unless it was dark, and now all the windows are all open so everybody can see everything, and it's like,
Yeah,
whatever.
like, flip the light on, I don't care.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
do lock my door when Ed's out of town, I do lock my bedroom door just so I won't be as
I do that too.
available.
And when it's just me and Rod, we leave the door unlocked going out to the garage, but when I'm here by myself, it gets locked.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
all
lock
the doors
doors.
in the garage are locked. I make sure before it gets dark, I go out
Right.
there and make sure all the doors are locked.
Get your
Um,
kitties in.
yeah, well, we've got the cat door now, so they could go in
Oh,
and out. And then now that he has the man cave back, um, he has a cat door on it too, so they can go in there and stay warm at night instead of
Oh, that's
hanging out in the
nice.
garage. So yeah, that'd be good for
That's
them.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so your ladies came your girlies came last week and moved everything quilt related is now in this room.
I think everything is. I'm gonna go up on the loft in the garage and make sure that some of those boxes up there don't need to come down here. But yeah, everything's out of the bedroom where he's sleeping, out of that closet.
Yeah.
Everything's out of there. He's like, "Wow, I have a closet." What? Yay, congratulations. Um, so then, let's see. Yeah, and this room is just full of stuff right now. So I just have to get it put away and figure out where to put it and all that sort of thing. I do still have the storage upstairs. So, like the cases to my sewing machines, like my vintage machines that I want to display, I can put the case upstairs in the storage area because there's not a lot up there, but
Yeah.
it'll be safe. They'll be safe up there. They won't, because it's a 301 trapezoid case, so
Yeah.
they're grass cloths, and I don't want anything to crush them or happen
Right.
to.
Right. I, m I wish I had more room. I need to clean out. We have a the sewing room is connected to a bedroom, which has all the guitars and the drum set in it, so it's not really my room, but that's where I put all my stuff,
Mhm.
and I started cleaning it out I don't know, a couple of months ago probably, and and so now, I worked on it for a while, and then when I stopped, I completely stopped, and
Yeah.
so now I have to step over stuff again or still, so
Is there a
I
bed in
we
there?
at one point had talked about de dem dem demolitioning um, the closet that is between the 2 rooms. It's to open it up a little bit, but
Yeah.
I don't know when that's gonna happen.
So is
But
there a bed in that extra room?
no.
No, I was gonna say if there was a bed in there and I went in there to clean it, I'd probably end up cleaning off a space big enough for me to lay down or something. We'll
So
get this down.
we had a little glitch there, and we were talking about my sewing area for a minute.
Yeah,
Um, I was funny because we finally you know, short story long.
yeah,
Um,
I like those.
I had been talking to these designers in town about getting my kitchen redone,
Yeah.
which would be like taking out walls and kinda
Mm,
stuff, and they came out with a price that was, very expensive.
yeah,
And I thought long and hard, and I said, we could do that, but that would take all the money, and I've got so much more stuff I wanna do that I would rather just do stuff and not have the prettiest kitchen in the world,
right.
until maybe, we win the lottery or something, and
And
then, of course, I would get it done. Um
that's always possible.
So last week I called and got a quote for not painting, for removing the rest of the popcorn ceilings. So we've got 2 bedrooms that have it, and then the kitchen and dining room have it, and there's a hall they're connected. And so I got a quote um, and before we can actually have it done, we need to tear out when you come into my dining room, there's like 2 walls there. They used to have the nice 1960s, like beveled, wood columns in 'em in the part of it. Anyway, we
Yeah,
need to get rid of those 2 walls, so I told Ed, I said, "You have to do that before they come because they can't finish the ceiling unless it's not there." And so his goal is to buy a sledgehammer, and so I figure when he buys a sledgehammer, then we can get rid of this closet down here. So,
oh, let's see.
there you go.
There we are. That was a long story short or whatever. Short story long. I
So,
get those all the time with my son, so I'm used to those. I try not to let my mind wander when he's telling me a
when he's
story.
telling a
I
story.
was listening to yours, but
Uh,
anyway.
Yeah, you expect everybody to listen to your stories, but you don't expect to listen to everybody else's
No,
stories.
well, like, my son, every time he tells a story, it's short story long, every time.
Too funny. Too funny. Okay, so, what else has been going on?
Well, we had a quilt retreat, so that was fun. Oh my gosh, that was fun. I wasn't gonna bring up we're not supposed to talk about what happened at quilt retreat, are we?
Right, no.
Okay, well, never mind.
Well, we can though.
Okay,
Um,
so Donna, oh my gosh, after
after
you
I
I don't think you were in the maybe you left on or see, I'm so
I
messed up
know, I
on
was the
dates.
same
On
way.
Thursday, you
Yeah.
left. They were all coming in saying, "Wow, Donna's really fun." It was the clogging that did it. Oh, that was funny. And then
Uh,
Michelle was talking to me online, like, on personal messaging, and she I said, "Donna even clogged," and she goes, "Like, dancing clogging?" And I said, "Yes."
well, I don't know if we would call it that, but
I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh, I hope somebody got video." So, the only video I got, actually, because the table was in the way and people were in the way, I put my
was of my
camera
feet.
under.
Yeah, it was my
Yes,
feet, yeah.
so we don't even know if that's you, actually.
Yeah, that's true. But
So,
yeah, well, out at the very end, you pan up and you see me a little bit. I just saw that I was on my phone, or in my photos yesterday, and I'm like, "Oh, let me look at that," and I did a pretty good job.
you did excellent.
Uh,
Oh, it was so funny.
they make us play quilt bingo, and I'm just not a game player at all, and and it's just so funny because it lasts so long, and everybody has to win. And then they did 14 blackouts, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, let's just get back to sewing." But it was
Oh,
fun.
it is fun, though. I mean, we always laugh and have such a good
Yeah.
time.
And it was fun too, to let the people know. We were in a room that was not necessarily like a bed, like a hotel room,
It was a
but it was
conference
a
room.
yeah, it was a conference room, but it had a full bath attached to it. So it was like a conference room, and it had doors to the outside, so there was like this big old
Big
exit sign,
double doors,
big
was
old red lighted exit sign by the door.
up. She had full view of that. Where I slept in the Murphy bed, I was around the corner, so I just had a faint glow of red, but it was a bright sign, so we knew how to get out if we needed to.
Yeah, but we sat th at night because I was, like, as far away from Mary Beth as I possibly could. There weren't any nightstands or anything. There weren't any nightstands, and so, it was funny. I'm not complaining about the room at all, it was just hilarious. So we were sitting there on we would go to bed, I mean, we would leave the sewing area about 8 o'clock, right? 8, 8:30, and then we'd go back to the room and we'd sit there, it was like 2 old married people. He's like she's sending me videos and I'm laughing and sending her back videos and
And then Donna says, "I'm going to sleep." So I'm like, "Oh, I guess we're done." So, but
so
for
it
those of
was
you
fun.
for those of you that don't know me, I'm 5'11", so when Murphy beds are low to the floor, so when I sat down, it was like my knees were earlobe high or something almost. No, not quite, but it was really low to the ground. I could have probably rolled out on my knees and crawled over to the bathroom if I needed to, but anyway, it was fun.
And I'm amazed you got up out of that bed as well as you did. I think
Well,
you did.
yeah, my back has been out of place ever since I got home. So, I can barely get out of my bed now, so this is fun. You know, I'm working on it, so I'm doing some exercises, trying to get her back into shape.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so what have you been working on sewing-wise,
Oh my
quilting-wise?
goodness. I finished a quilt at retreat and then came home and rested a day or 2, and then my back went kapooey, but the girls came down and helped me. I mean, I haven't sewn since I got home, but I am happy that I got that quilt top finished. I wanna get it to that lady because she's gonna have knee replacement, and I feel sorry for her, so
Yeah. It was pretty. It
yeah, I
was
think I
was it
think I
a double 3-yard quilt? Is that what you
yeah,
ended up doing? You just
yeah,
made more squares or
yeah. They have when you do one of those 3-yard quilts out of the book, on the facing page of the directions, it shows how many you need to make, if the size you need to make, if
right,
it's
if you wanted
twin
to
for
make it bigger.
yeah, and I just always go for the twin size because I figure, you know,
Yeah.
it's big enough for a kid. The 3-yard quilt itself would probably make a great baby quilt, but they're so small.
Yeah, they are small.
Yeah.
They are.
So
So one day, we went to City's Edge, the quilt store,
mhm.
and, I went specifically to, buy finishing fabric for both of my both of my, pre-cut block of the months that I get from City's Edge. And so I got let's see, I got sashing, cornerstones, what is it called? Border fabric for both of them, and then I got, a wide back for one of them that was available. And so then she asked Mary, if she needed fabric too, and she's like, "Well, I think I got some, but maybe not." And so she bought some more fabric.
Yeah, I'm doing the
Um,
same one you are, plus I'm doing the dragonfly. So I knew I had the dragonfly, but I didn't remember buying the other one, but obviously I did.
but
So,
she bought I guess 3 yards of backing for 3 1/8 yards because they had determined that they needed
yeah,
the extra eighth of a yard.
yeah.
Um, and then we drove to Mary Beth's house, and the first thing you see is a bucket that has fabric in it, the same
It's a lot
fabric.
of fabric. But the funny thing is, Amy pulled up what I had purchased, and I purchased it, like, in December of last year. So, she pulled it up and said, "Well, you got this one, it's yellow." She goes, "What size are you doing?" And I said, "King size." She goes, "Well, we only have you only bought a quarter or a half yard of yellow?"
Oh,
And she goes, "It won't work for this, and we don't have any more." And I'm like, "Oh, well, maybe I can just make cornerstones out of it." And she goes, "Even if you make cornerstones, you don't have enough to do it." And I'm like, "So, I don't know."
I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, I'm gonna do one of them. I bought an extra block, so I would have 13 blocks, so I could do it on point. I did one last year on point, and it was the one that I couldn't find the 2 blocks, or, like,
Oh,
the 2 blocks were missing, and so I
mhm.
ended up putting, like, 3 squares of whatever, the fabric in there just to hold the space. So, I was telling Mary Beth the other day that I was, going through moving everything into the, room that has all my stuff in it, and I found the 2 blocks. So, I've got 2 extra
I
blocks that will never be used.
because I usually pick up those blocks and bring them to you, and I thought, "Oh my gosh."
And I was sure I mean, I knew in my heart that they were lost, but I just you look everywhere and you
I
have
thought
no
they were
idea.
lost here, that's what I was worried
Yeah,
about.
yeah. I didn't really think that. I did a little bit, but not for
I
very
thought I did a lot. So, and then I
but
thought, "Oh my gosh, what if they're here somewhere and I just can't find them?" The one thing I can't find is the lid to that little cookie jar that I put my stuff in.
the purple one or the green one,
Yeah. I don't know what has happened to the lid
it's probably in a box somewhere.
or in the trash. Went out.
Yeah,
That's what's
I
got
don't
me
know.
worried. I'll never find another lid like that.
Yep, that's a pretty jar too.
Yeah, it is. So I'm gonna keep going through boxes and see.
Yeah, it'll show up. The last place you look is where it's gonna be.
I hope so. Yeah.
So at the retreat, anything else exciting happened?
Let me think. Well, did it?
I don't know.
I don't think so. It's always a lot of fun. Those girls are always a lot of fun, so, uh and I know there's more than just you that doesn't wanna play the games, but they all you guys all are troopers and you do it anyway, so yay.
Yeah,
You
it's fun. You laugh. There's a lot
oh
of
my
laughing going
gosh,
on.
oh my gosh. Who was it? Margaret's sister. What's her name? I
I
forgot.
don't know.
Anyway, she's sitting over there and she yells out, "Quilt," and they said, "Okay, read them off," and she goes, "I," and that was the end of it, and I'm like, "Okay," and then they all start laughing. I mean, you don't have to say very much to get them all laughing. I said, "Okay," and then she starts laughing and goes, "I just need to make sure I knew what I was saying." So,
Too
anyway,
funny.
it was funny.
So did you stay for breakfast Thursday morning?
I did, I wasn't going to, I was trying to get out of there, but there was no one to load me out yet,
Oh,
and,
you
Barb
needed the
McGirt
help?
came by and said, "Hey, my husband's on his way," and then pretty soon there was Frank too, so, um, I was able to get Barb's husband came up. I had everything upstairs, just waiting for somebody to help me hoist it up into the truck. So, he did, and then I was on my way. I think I got home at 9:30.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, because
That's
you
not
sent
bad
me a
at all.
message saying you got home, and I don't know what time that was, but, it
Yeah,
was
it was
pretty close to about the time I did, I think, or
well,
maybe
no,
more.
it took me well, no, I didn't get home until noon, maybe? I don't know. I went back the same way I came. I just I don't know. I mean, I when I come to your house, I take 7,
Yeah,
but when I go there, it tries to get me to take 7, but I just feel like that's out of the way. It's actually supposed to be faster.
no. I took that way one time because I was in Windsor, and it took me I said I wanted to go home because I live on the other side of, the south side of Warsaw, but way south. So it took me through the country on windy I mean, they were all, like, paved, roads, but it was not and I wound up where it would have you turn on C highway. You'd go 7 to C, and then you'd go all the way back there. Somebody was telling me that's how it took them too, and I said, "Oh, no, you don't wanna do that."
Yeah.
The way you
Yeah.
come is probably best. Either go I-70 down to 65 and straight down, or 50, that way you can go by Hunter's Quilt Mart,
Yeah, and I do 50 because it's actually I think it's faster to go 50 than to go 70.
probably.
And 70,
Yeah, it's like the Autobahn.
yeah, and, until you really get out of Kansas City area, it doesn't calm down at all,
Mm, it's crazy,
so
and
I
they're
did
all
that.
driving fast.
We went to, I had a church meeting in, St. Louis on Friday and Saturday, and so I drove with one of the ladies in the church, and we took 36
Oh,
to, all the way to Hannibal, and then we turned south, and so I drove by Stitch and Clip. I
yeah,
waved at it.
yeah, I love
And
Flip.
and and we on the way back, we stopped at Fiddlesticks and had lunch, so that was fun.
Yeah,
So it was a nice little weekend, but I was exhausted
I
because then
bet
I had
you
to
were.
yeah, then I had to get up, Sunday morning and perform, duties.
Oh,
So,
like, you meant you
today
sang in front of church or something. When you
what?
said when you said perform, I thought you meant you sang in front of church.
No, I had to do, I was an assistant, so I had to do a prayer, so I had to write a prayer and all that kinda stuff.
Oh,
So, yesterday, we didn't really do any I mean, I guess we, I don't remember. Anyway, today's the first day I haven't been like, "Go, go, go, go," since
yeah.
since then.
Aren't you tired?
I am. I'm tired
Mhm.
'cause I couldn't I did haven't slept really well. I
Uh-huh.
had so Saturday, we have a new pastor, and he was examined. He was from a different, church organization, and so
Denomination.
he had to be examined and approved into our organization, and, they had said, I mean, this has been a couple of months ago, they had said that they needed somebody to stand up and, talk about him. And so that's all that was the only guidance I had. And so I've had stuff rattling around in my head,
Oh,
like
boy.
when you go to sleep at night and all
Yeah.
the voices in your head are telling you stuff. So that stuff had been rattling in my head for weeks.
Mm.
And so I finally Saturday morning, no, Friday morning, I just jotted it all down on a piece of paper just to get it out of my head. And so actually that helped. So Saturday night or Friday night wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Oh, good.
So he will be installed next week, and then I don't have to do anything for a long time, so I'm
Oh,
glad about
good.
that.
That'll help.
I don't know. I don't know. So, I bound 2 quilts. I made 6 blocks from the block of the month pre-cuts.
Mhm.
I tried to do a little applique on my machine, and, I I finished my, um, Tula Pink quilt top,
Yay, that's beautiful.
and I also finished the little sunflower, um, quilt,
That's so cute.
and so I mean, I did pretty well, I guess, for the amount of time I was there, so,
I had
you always
those blocks. I did get a few of those done, maybe 5 or 6. So, but I
yeah,
have a whole bunch to do.
I need to just sit down well, now I need to sit down and sew, but I've got, like, quilts I wanna get done for you before, the next retreat, and
Mhm.
I've got other quilts I need to get done before the next retreat, so I don't know, I may not be able to sew, until the next retreat, but I've got a brand new sewing machine.
Woohoo! Tell us about that.
Woohoo.
Juki,
It's all Mary Beth's fault.
it is. I don't even have
Um,
one.
we had had the conversation that you shouldn't have to pay thousands of dollars for a machine that you only use a straight stitch on.
Right? And as quilters, that's about all we use. I mean, sometimes you use a zigzag, but not very often.
Yeah, and so, and I said, but the problem is that if you buy like a less expensive machine, you don't get the stuff you need on it, like needle up down or, cutting whatever or this or that. So I don't know, it was a few weeks ago, you sent me I think I don't know, it was a video or a picture of a Juki,
Mhm.
machine.
Mhm.
I don't know if it was this machine or not. I think it was.
I think it was.
And so I looked at it and I looked at all of them, and of course, I determined immediately that I needed one.
Yeah, she sent me a message back and said, "I did not know 15 minutes ago that I need this machine." Like, "You're welcome."
So anyway so anyway, I had said I wanted this machine, and I don't know, a few weeks ago, I asked Ed, I said, "I wanna get this machine," and he's like, "Well, just wait a little bit, blah, 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 blah." And, then, Fabric Bash, which is the quilt store in Omaha, had a video of the Juki that they were selling, and I think it was her birthday, or I don't know, some kind of a sale associated with her birthday, and that was a machine, and so I bought it, and I didn't tell Ed, but he
And I
said,
think
"Well."
I recall you saying that Ed said, "That's not a bad price." Remember?
Well, yeah, and I said, "Well, I saved $800 on it." Oh, yeah, the first time he said, "That's not a bad," because,
Yeah,
I have long arms
in
and they're, like,
comparison.
expensive. And so when he's the other day, he goes, "A couple more weeks, you can buy that machine." I'm like, "Well, I already bought it." I
Yeah,
said, "But I saved $800,
I
so."
shared that story with Rob, not the pricing, but I just shared that part of it with Rob. And so I thought that was funny. That sounds like us. I don't ever tell him, and he don't ever ask me. He just walks in here, and there's a new sewing machine sitting there, and he's like, "Did you buy a new sewing machine?" I went, "Oh, yeah." Did I forget to tell you? So,
Yeah, they don't need to know everything.
and then I'm sitting there at the retreat, and Amy comes up, and she goes, we take trade-ins, and if you'd like to trade up, we could take your machine and your embroidery machine on trade-in for another machine." And one that does both, and I said, "Really?" And I didn't ask her how much because I'm like, "Oh, I don't need another machine that does all the bells and whistles. I just don't." And then she goes, "But what would you do for a different machine while you're using your embroidery machine?" I go, "Amy, I have like 13 vintage sewing machines. I won't have a problem doing a straight stitch anywhere." So,
Now, does yours, embroidery mach is your embroidery machine just an embroidery machine, or does it sew too?
no, it's the Janome 550E. So it's embroidery only, and it's got the biggest hoops that they have for just embroidery only.
Mhm.
Now, the other machines that they have, like the ones that do both, have big hoops, like the
Oh,
one that's
like you can you know
yeah, I can't even think of the numbers of the model numbers of them. I think it's a M17 or something. It's like the MSRP or whatever is
right,
$19,000, but they've got it on
yeah.
sale right now for 12 and
Ugh, buy
yeah.
it.
Mm.
Well,
That was
I didn't I had a, embroidery machine years ago, and, I would pull it out. I mean, in fact, this was, like, when I very first started sewing, I had one, and it was a brother, and it didn't sew. I mean, it was a sewing machine, but
oh,
it never sewed right. Like,
yeah.
I couldn't my piecing on it was bad. So,
Um,
when I got my I think the next machine I bought, I think was a Pfaff, and, and I had the brother, and I'd pull it out when I needed to do something, and then, at some point, it just stopped working. It stopped
um,
the arm stopped working, so I
um,
gave it to somebody in Longmont and said, "Hey, you can have it if you can get it to work." And anyway, at some point, I was, uh, there's a there's a show in Longmont in September, and usually the Bernina place has a, garage sale or whatever. So a few years ago, I decided that, maybe I did need an embroidery machine, and so I bought an old, like a 2011 880, which is, like, it's huge, it's a huge machine.
yeah,
So I have the ability to embroider, and I've done it, like, twice, so I don't know, it's not like I know what I'm doing, I have to figure out what I'm doing every time.
right.
And, so then last year I thought, "Well, maybe I bought the little the big travel machine that I have is a 5 something, and it has the ability to do embroidery, if you buy the embroidery package, and so I've thought, "Man, maybe I can do that," but I don't know. I am not sitting there going, "Oh my gosh, what I need to embroider." That's
Well,
not on my wish list.
here's what I wanted. I wanted to be able to do labels. Isn't that ridiculous to buy a $4,000 machine to do labels? But I just thought it looked so nice and it'd be there forever. I'm not sure
Mhm.
that my going in and printing my fabric in a printer is gonna last forever when you wash it. That worries me just a little bit, and so that's what I've always done. And then I've got the pens that you could write it, but, I my handwriting can be great on one day and be, like,
Mm.
pathetic on the next day. So
Yeah.
I don't really wanna write it, so I thought, "Well, I'll just get an embroidery machine." Then it got in my head that I had to have an embroidery machine. So, I bought that one, and fortunately, we had Lois, and she was an embroidery wizard. So I could take classes. Like I think they offered 4 classes with the purchase of a machine. So I could take classes and go up there and buy a, Kimberbill, whatever,
Yeah.
and they could show me exactly what I needed to do on the machine to get started, to change, whatever, change my fabric, do different hoopings or whatever I had to do. So that was pretty cool to be able to do that, and that helped me learn. My problem was whenever I got home, though, I'd go to sleep and then get up the next day and be like, "How do I turn this on?" You
Yeah.
know? But I
Yeah.
finally figured it out, I think, and I just don't use it a lot, and I want to use it more. I don't really care for cutesy stuff, cutesy designs, and I don't really like s I don't even know what they're called, the pop-up or stand-up, embroidery stuff like a church or something,
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
fine. They're fine, but it's just not me. So,
Right.
and I just have to find the right thing that, you know, gets
Yeah.
me excited. Now I did do embroidered, tea towels for the little Amish girl up the street when she got married, and the stitching on it, and I know it's just how it was digitized, but it looks hand stitched. So that made me happy because I was giving it to them and they all think hand done stuff is the way to
Yeah.
go. So
Yeah.
it looked like I did, but I didn't really. Shh, don't tell.
So, yeah, the embroidery thing, well, and I was gonna ask Sherry, she was embroidering this past week at the
Mhm.
retreat, if that's a machine that she can stitch on too, and I
It
never
is.
asked that. It is? Does she
Uh-huh.
use that machine as her main machine?
No. Uh, does she? I don't she may.
Yeah.
'Cause I said something to her about the M17, she goes, "Oh, I don't have that one." So this may be the one she stitches on too.
I was
But
just curious because I think, was talking to Sheila, and she bought an embroidery machine. She bought a sewing machine that has embroidery on it, but she said I asked her, "Does it sew well?" And she's like, "Not really." So,
yeah,
I was
that's what
just
I wonder about.
curious if that what's the deal with that? Why a machine wouldn't be a good sewing machine?
Well, here's my thought, and for what it's worth, 'cause my brain goes in weird spots. But, like, sewing with the Singer 301, it is a straight stitch only. I mean, you can put the old attachments on it to do a zigzag or whatever, with the little cams and all that. But it has a beautiful straight stitch because that's what it does. Then you go to the modern machines that have a built-in zigzag or built-in stitches of all kinds like we have, like the ones we use, and if you look at the stitch, it's just a teensy, teensy bit off
Not
on one.
straight.
Uh-huh, it's not exactly straight like a old Singer is. So, I mean, it's really you just have to look at it to see that, but I'm thinking, well, maybe that's if it's got a built-in embroidery, that's
There's
giving it
something.
even more things to have to do,
Yeah.
so it could be that would affect the stitching, I don't know.
Yeah, that's maybe so.
Yeah.
'Cause I can't imagine spending $18,000 on a machine that I couldn't sew on,
Oh,
you
you know
know?
what, though? I sewed on that $19,000 machine. I think it's an M17, I think. I don't know. It's the big one from Janome, and when we were doing, they were having us it was like their anniversary of 10-year anniversary of City's Edge, and we could go in and stitch together it was like the block of the month, only it was for, um, the Quilts of Valor.
Mhm.
So we could do a block, and so I went in and I said, "I want that machine." And they said, "Okay, here, let's fix you right up." And I sat there and sewed that block, and oh my gosh, that it was like butter. It was so nice, and so how mine makes all these cricket sounds and all that? That one doesn't do that. It's real quiet, and it's very smooth, and it was a very nice machine, and I was like, "Oh, I wish I hadn't touched this machine." 'Cause
Yep.
now I'm like,
Why don't you just try the leather seats?
could this just appear on my sewing table at home and nobody would have
Yeah.
to know? Except it's huge.
Um, the other thing was you were having issues with your machine eating fabric,
Yes.
and you fix that with a different, um, foot what do you call it?
HP foot.
Faceplate?
Yeah. It's the HP, needle plate and HP foot, and we didn't know what HP stood for, and then when she said it was high what was it?
I don't remember. I
High
didn't never hear.
I don't remember, but see, I still don't know what it is, but, high performance, I think is what it was, but I had never used it. I think I've had that machine for 2 or 3 years now. I had never used that foot. I put it on once and I thought, "I don't I don't get it." Then I found my measurement, my quarter inch mark on my plate, and it is just a smidge well, it might be right at the edge of that foot for the HP foot, and Amy came by and I said, "Is this the right marks for, for the quarter inch mark?" And she said, "Yeah," and she showed me what to do, and she told me that it is designed for a here I go, I hate this word, scant quarter inch. That's more than one word, but that foot is a scant quarter inch, so then I was afraid I was messing up all my other if I did that one and I did the other blocks with the other foot, is it gonna be a mess? And she pointed out that I was probably not very accurate anyway, so it didn't matter.
Well, it does make a difference. I tell you, I try to keep all my projects on the same machine.
Yeah,
So, but you used it with the scantness, and did you do more blocks?
I did a couple more blocks, and then I did that whole quilt, with that foot.
I was
And
trying to
I'll probably use it all the time because it was not eating my fabric. I was even using the leader
yeah.
thing, still eating my fabric. I've never had it do that before, and I was when I went to I thought maybe it's got lint down in there and I need to clean it out. Maybe that's causing issues. So I pulled my needle plate off and took my foot off and got in there, and I had little pieces of thread down in my machine, which has done this before, and I took it in and had them try to figure out why, but it had little pieces of thread an inch long, probably, just in the just cut off at an inch, and I don't know what that was about, and it's done
Oh,
it before, so I don't know, but I cleaned it all out, and then I put the HP foot on it and didn't have any problem at all.
well, that's good.
Yes, because it's aggravating, when you keep having problems.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Definitely when you pay a lot for a machine,
Well,
or
yeah,
even when you don't, but yeah.
yeah, when you buy a new machine and I mean, for the most part, when someone buys one, they're getting as much as they can afford probably.
Right.
And, like, I knew I didn't wanna pay more than what I paid for that one, and it was a little scary to get that one, but I thought, "Well, I've been looking at it for 3 years, it's time to do something here." Um, so then when I did get it, for me, that was a lot of money, it wasn't 19,000. I just when I see that price tag, I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, who does that?" But I do know people that do it, and they love that machine.
Yeah, yeah.
So, maybe
Well, we've talked before about the idea that um, it's kinda like uh, a pit, once you buy one machine, and then you upgrade to the next one, and you upgrade, and you upgrade, and at some point, you've gotta say, "Okay, I'm not buying any more machines."
Right.
And so now I have 2, my newest machine is 11 year my long arm. My newest long arm is 11 years old. It's
Oh
like
god.
and my oldest one is like, it was a 2008, so
And, I see a lot of long arms, not to get off on this tangent because I know we don't have a lot of time left, but I saw one today that was a older gray head APQS Millie on a 14-foot table, and they wanted like $9,000 for it. And I said, good luck, because
Yeah,
they're not going to get it. And somebody near here had one, and I think they had 6,000 on it, and it came down to 45, and they're down to four. And I haven't looked at it lately to see what it's at, but they just keep coming down on it,
yeah.
because they just want to move it.
Well, I had talked to one of the, um, technicians, and she said, if you can't get the parts anymore,
Yeah.
that's where the warranty kinda runs out is when you can't get the parts anymore.
Yeah.
And so we had Ed and I had discussed, possibly buying a machine just so we'd, would have parts if we needed it.
Yeah.
But, it would have to be cheap, and I'm not gonna take the table, I just want the
Yeah.
machine. So,
Yeah. A 14-foot table. Whew, that's a big one.
yeah. I don't know. I do not know. Anyway, so
No.
it's just, you kinda get in there and you you're helping the quilt store,
Yeah.
but we're all paying, we're all buying fabric we don't need.
Right. And if I turn around, I can attest to that. So, Rod was in here last night, and I said, Amy said that I could trade my machine in for my, the one that I have, the 9450 and my 550E, and upgrade to a different machine. He goes, "But you're not gonna do that, are you?" You go, "No." He was a little scared. So, no, I'm not. It's like buying a car. At my age, I feel like every time I get a new car, I'm like, "Well, that's the
Last
last
one.
one. Bye." Yeah. That's where I am with sewing machines too, but
Yeah.
no, I'll
Well,
probably have
you were funny at the Kinderhook retreat 'cause, Jackie,
Livingston.
basically, tattoos people's machines,
Uh-huh.
and, I don't really I don't know, have a place to do mine, so I haven't done it, and then you said "I do it, but I don't think this is my forever machine."
It's because I sat down with that big one. Oh, that was a nice machine. Should never have sat there and made that
Ah, that's
spot
funny. I don't
'cause
think this is my forever machine.
it's in the back of my head now.
Don't you hate
What?
that? You just
Yes,
really
and
want it.
I noticed that Janome has come up with a whole bunch of new machines, but they're all short in the throat. They're not very big, and I thought, "What is happening?"
Yeah, I like the big throats.
Yeah, I wonder if it's because it costs more to for the materials to make them, or, what would it be? Really?
I don't know, I guess maybe they realize because you don't really need it.
No, unless you quilt on your machine, you don't have
Exactly.
to have that big space
Yeah. But, now we are, programmed to thinking we need the bigger machine.
and the stitches and all the stuff, and we don't.
Yeah, and I don't need the stitches at all.
Mm-mm, I don't either.
I don't
I
think I've
never
ever done I don't think maybe at one time I thought I used pretty stitches to do a binding, but it took so much longer to stitch it out. You
I
know
know,
me, I'm like, you know
so much more thread, but, also, we might use the blind stitch to do the applique stitch, the
um,
bump, bump,
yeah.
bump, 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 that one.
Well, I thought that I'm pretty sure I bought a the Bernina foot that you're supposed to use when you do bindings, and I don't have any idea what could have happened to it. I don't
Oh,
have anything that's like that.
hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, who knows? Who knows where anything's at anymore either? Because I have so much stuff everywhere I don't even know where anything is. Right now, I just certainly don't, so gotta get it
Yeah.
all put away, and
definitely.
Yesterday, I just sat in a chair with all my stuff around me, and then when I'd get everything out of that box, then I'd go over and put a box on a furniture mover and roll it over to my chair and then sit back down, sit here and go through the box. That was working.
Well, and what are in these boxes? Is it just all fabric?
A lot of it is yeah, yesterday what I was going through is fabric, and I'm trying to determine what kinda how many more of these metal wire shelving things I need,
Yeah.
because I don't wanna overbuy, and I don't wanna underbuy because I need shelves, to put stuff on, but, uh yeah, and so then, like, this one I got was, like, $65 or something at, uh, Home Depot, and I was able to buy white, and that's what I wanted. I thought, "Well, that's cool." They even had a red one, but, no, I bought the white one, and then I wanna go ahead and get a bigger one to hold the bigger tubs. Oh my goodness. They get pretty expensive, like $250 for one, that I may not use it for a long time. Once I empty out these tubs, I may not need it anymore, but I guess we could use it upstairs in the loft to put more stuff on.
So how much time are you planning on spending sewing now that you have a pretty room
I plan to be in here 24 hours a day.
for a
That's what I
while?
need to be in here to be able to do this, but I can't. I gotta cook supper sometimes, make bread and
But honestly, do you really think you're gonna sew a lot more? I mean, I know that's your plan.
I do feel like I can. I will because, it was really unhandy in my bedroom when I had it, waiting for this to be completed. I was able to sew in there, but it was a little unhandy, and then that little bitty room was really bad because it was so cramped in there. So this room will
Mhm.
just be nicer, I can spread out and do what I need to do. I was thinking yesterday, just being able to, um, once I get this floor straightened up where there's nothing piled in it, then I should be able to I mean, I could spread stuff out like I'm wanting to do that design wall. I'll be able to just lay everything out on the floor and get it all ready to go and hang it up.
Yeah, that's
So
good. I
yeah,
I think I would like to see you, because you
yes.
can. I would like to see you act like this is your job now.
Oh,
Like, I'm gonna spend so many hours and see how much stuff you can get done in a year or whatever.
whew,
'Cause
yeah.
I mean, you could literally sew. I mean, I know I could. I could sew for probably 5 years and never have to buy fabric.
Oh, yeah, I think I could too. I
Um,
haven't been
yeah, but, of course, you need more fabric.
well, these silly designers come out with cool stuff, and then you gotta buy
Yeah.
it.
Well, and then you have to get backings, all that kinda stuff too,
I
so
know.
so
Well,
I think it would be neat to try and see, because I remember, there's a designer, her name is Jackie Gearing. She's a Kansas City lady, and she's the one that wrote the book. She's the one that wrote the books, Quilting with the Walking Foot. It's called Walk.
okay.
And she does really phenomenal work with the walking foot. But she said she retired. I think she was a school teacher or school administrator or something like that. And she retired and she told her husband, I'm gonna be a quilter. Like, this is my job now. And
Uh-huh.
she said she spent 12 hours a day in her sewing room.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, "Ugh, it is my job and I don't spend 12 hours a day
Yeah.
in there."
I I can only I mean, I think everybody is like this. You can only sit for so long, then you gotta get up, move around, and do some stuff.
Yeah.
Um, Plus there is life outside this room.
I
So,
I I know, but you've got a lot to get done.
I do have a lot to get done. And that's
Well,
what I
y
think, like, I haven't been able to sew lately because of this room you know, transfer and all that. But once I get everything put away, and that's gonna take me a little bit of time. You know what? Here's something. I went on Lowe's website today, found the rolling rack that I wanted, and it didn't have wheels with it. You had to buy the wheels separate. They were $27. And so I put it in a cart and said, ship it to me. And when I looked at the wheels in the cart, they were $49. And I said, wait a minute, they were just 27 or something so I clicked on it to say, I'll pick them up. And it went back to the $27 price.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're
Can
not charging you shipping, but they're charging more for the product.
oh, so we
Well,
are
don't we all?
Yeah.
Don't we all?
so
Yeah.
we are
Yeah.
here with Louann Jobe Fisher, and she has, stirred up some quilters by having a fabulous quilt at the International Quilt Festival, and
Yeah. Yes, I know.
Mary Beth looked her up, and we're gonna talk to her today.
Yeah.
So, how
Yeah.
are
I
you
like
doing?
colors. Um, I have. Was that directed to me or was yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So me, I have been working so hard the last couple of days on producing a book
Oh,
about all of my quilts,
Oh,
yay.
okay.
and it's just for us, my husband and I, because we wanted. I have all these pictures from a book, um, and so I've been doing all that for the last 2 days, and so today I'm kind of, oh, I'm done with it. I put it
Oh,
in. It's through Shutterfly, and I had to get it done last night because the sale was on.
oh,
And so you have to get it done when the sale is on.
right.
So it's going to be done. But I'll tell you the story about how that came to be,
Yeah.
but we can get to it later. So anyway, my quilt, my quilt, my tiger quilt. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a little crazy.
Does he have a name?
I've tried to name him, and I can't come up with a name for him. He's not. Um, he can't be Tony because Tony quilted him,
Oh,
so he can't be Tony. And I wanted something kind of unique, but I haven't come up with him. So he's Blue Eyes as
mm,
far as what he
Oh,
is right now,
that's what
because
everybody says, blue
yeah,
eyes.
yeah,
Mhm.
because that's the official name of the art piece that was done for the panel. For the piece that was done by the artist.
Okay.
So, was named Blue Eyes.
So, this
So
was
that
not
works.
just a panel you could buy somewhere. Someone did that.
No, no, it was, but,
Oh, okay.
Quilted Treasures bought the artwork.
I
It
see.
it it I somehow they do a series of stuff from artists, and,
Oh,
his this guy's name was Colin Bogle, and I say Bog it's Bogle, Bogle, I don't know,
oh, well, yeah.
but, he lives in Seattle or in the Seattle area, and he does beautiful, beautiful, uh, artwork, natural animals and everything,
right.
and I've been in touch with him. I've written to him, and because I told him, I said, "Thank you for what you did because, look what I did with what you did, and, this is what I've done with him," and he's written me back, and, so it's been kinda neat to kinda touch base with him and let him know what his artwork has where it's taken where it's gone, with the quilt world, so, uh
I wish we could show the picture of this quilt because it's just beautiful, and the
Yeah,
burning question that I keep getting, and I'm like, "I don't know, but we're gonna talk to her," is is the blade of grass part of his picture?
yeah.
I mean, is that what went across the lion's face, or did you add
So so we can walk into my living room,
that? Okay.
and so because he's home with me now.
Ah,
So,
aren't you
uh,
glad?
yes, I am glad because he wasn't with me for a long, long time.
Yeah.
So, here he is.
Oh, it's
There
just
That's
there
awesome.
there
gorgeous.
she is. So, let's see. I'll do that.
Yeah,
So, have to keep him straight. So, the panel, um yeah, the panel was, um the grass and everything was original from the panel.
Okay.
So I had nothing to do with that.
Okay, good.
That was there,
'Cause
and,
I couldn't figure out how you did it, and I was like, "How did she do that?" I kept zooming
yeah,
in on it, trying to figure it
yeah,
all out.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, let me see, I can get you closer. So there he is. Isn't he cool?
He
I
is
mean,
beautiful.
the guy did a fabulous job on his picture. So yeah, all of that, what you're seeing right now, for the most part, is the panel,
Okay.
okay? So, I had something wonderful to work with.
Mhm.
And then I took that panel and made all the pieces that went with it. Sorry, it's kinda hard to figure out which way I go with it. So, there's basically all of him with it. Um, and and then I do a lot of work with, extra pieces, extra hexes to go
Right.
around the edges, and then there's a lot of extra hexes, that cover the top of his head,
Uh-huh.
um, because, um, there's a in the process of making a one block wonder, there's a process that you do to make sure that you have enough hexes that go across your panel, across it this way.
Uh-huh.
I'm terrible at this.
No,
From
you're
left
fine.
to right,
Yeah.
you make hexes to fit across your panel, but that does not always assure that you've got hexes to go top to bottom on
Uh,
your panel.
uh-huh.
I haven't quite figured out how to do that yet. I have a process that I teach, um, when I teach my class, to make sure that they have their panels to go left to right, to cover side to side.
Right.
Um, and so I work with my students on that. I've come up with a way of doing that with them.
Do you so are you saying you used more than the whatever, the 6 panels to come up with all those
No,
hexes?
no,
They all
no.
come from the
It's
panels?
it's what I did across the
Mhm.
top of him, which is leftovers.
Oh, with the
Um,
leftovers.
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Um, so, when I covered it, what I ended up having were some sections, the border was showing,
Oh.
actually, and it happens with a one block wonder sometimes. You have a section, you try to make it so that it works, and usually you, you just decide, okay, you're gonna take the panel and you're gonna make it shorter. You're gonna cover up more of the panel. Well, I didn't wanna cover him up,
Mhm.
and so, I just took pieces, um, extra hexagons, and I layered them across the top
Okay.
of it,
Interesting.
and it just made it so much better, actually, than what it was. My husband, well, no, you can't, well, if we re I don't think we can reverse it, John,
No, I'm just saying, you point and I'll hold it.
but you don't know what you're seeing.
I'm just gonna hold it exactly here.
Oh.
Oh, there
Maybe.
you go.
So, but I can't reach it. But up at the top, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Here, hold it.
I have like 11 hexagons, appliqued on top,
Okay.
Okay,
across
okay.
the top. And it just worked out on this one. I don't normally do that. It's something that worked out on him, and it just made him that much better.
Yeah, that's
And,
So you
so
don't so, like, you didn't do, like, a half a one, like, it would cut off and make a line there, you did the whole hexagon
I
on it.
did the whole hexagon.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, yeah.
beautiful.
So, yeah, right there, done.
Yeah.
So, there's a whole hexagon here, there's a whole one there,
Okay.
and here. This one's added, this one's added, um, this one's added, because right across right there it would have been the top of the panel.
Okay.
So, and normally I would have, on a normal quilt, I would have just brought it all down and cut off the panel, you know, and had it disappear. So,
So did you applique that onto the black background? Like the black I see around the outer edge, is that
up at the
all?
top,
Yeah,
up at the very top, it's a border that I added on.
okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that makes it pop. That's so pretty.
yeah, yeah.
It does. Okay, so
And so,
so how did you, tell us about your you teach this class. How long have you been, intrigued with the One Block Wonder?
okay, so my first one was a Monet quilt
Mhm.
panel that was, think about the picture of um it's the woman with the parasol.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever seen his painting. I love Monet,
Uh-huh.
and he's my absolute favorite painter. And so I'm going to put this down so I can
That's fine.
not think about it. Okay, so Monet. When I saw the Monet painting picture or panel done as a one block wonder, that was in 2007.
Uh-oh, we lost her.
Saw that, it's like, before I have a one block wonder in my kit in my shelf somewhere, and I was like, nope, don't want to do that. Have no interest in doing that until I saw that one, and then
Okay.
like, okay, have to do that. Have to do that because I love Monet,
Mhm.
and so 2017, I did that. Had it quilted by a friend of mine here, and it turned out beautifully, beautiful. And then it was like people saw it, and right after that, we had a um, shop hop here in the local area, and they had a quilt panel that was bluebonnets because in Texas we have bluebonnets,
Mhm.
and so we did. They had a panel that came out, and they said, "Would you?" One of the quilt shops said, "Would you do a one block wonder using the quilt panel?" And I said, "Okay." And so I did that, and then they said, "Okay, now will you teach it here?" And I was already thinking about teaching it at the other shop, and I guess I'd already done a class there, and then it just went crazy. Um, People caught on to it, and it and so probably from about 2018, I've been teaching the class. And the tiger, someone brought the tiger into a class in 2022, I believe. And I started searching for it then. And I've done lots of other quilts, other ones. So, but I've been making them ever since then. I've got about 12 or 13
Oh,
that I've
interesting,
made.
interesting.
Yeah.
Now, and this all s d d did this all stem from the book, the One Block Wonder book?
Yes. So, um, I lost her name now. Maxine Rosenthal wrote the book in 2005, I believe is when it was originally written, because I think it's 20 years old now. And she originally wrote it with just fabric in mind, just plain fabric.
Oh, yeah.
And you just use the repeat. You just, because every fabric has a repeat, and you just found the repeat and bought 6 of those repeats, and then you just designed your own fabric or your own quilt from your hexagons that you made from that, which I think is way harder than working with a panel because you have to come up with your own design with
Mm,
that.
mhm.
Figure out how you want to put all those pieces together, you have no base to start with.
Right.
But that was her style to begin with. So, I don't know exactly when the panels started, probably 10 years or so down the way, people started realizing, "Hey, a panel is a repeat." You know, it's basically just a piece of fabric. If you do 6 of those, it's the same thing as doing 6 repeats of a piece of fabric, but
Right.
you've got something to design around. And so it started getting really, really popular. And so I like it much better because you have a base to work around.
We
Right.
jumped on the bandwagon, and I sent you the pictures of our quilts, so,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, I loved y'all's.
we got them cut out and well, actually, I just kept looking at those 7 panels going, "Oh, I don't wanna do this," you know? And and finally, Donna said, "I'm coming down," and she came to my house. We're in Missouri, both of us, so
Uh-huh.
she came to my house. I think you spent the night too, didn't you? And
Yeah, I
Rob
was
was
there
gone,
for
yeah.
yeah.
So we got them all together, got them all cut out. Of course, there was Mexican food in between, we have
Sure.
to do
Yeah.
that. Um, so we got them all cut out, and then we sewed the 3, together.
Yeah, yeah.
She left, and I'm like, "Oh, no, I still don't know what to do," you know? And I bet I wore my little book out. I just kept reading it and
Uh-huh.
going to YouTube videos, and our local quilt store was offering a class, and so I asked if we could come to that class, pay full price and just get us from that point where we were
Right.
on, and first they said yes, then that something came up and we couldn't, I don't know if they had to
Yeah.
cancel the class or
Couldn't
what
do
they
it.
did, but anyway, then here we were back to square.
Well, and I think that the thing that, stumped me the most was actually putting the hexagons up, on with the
Oh,
panel
yeah,
because I was kinda stumped in how to do that. So, what we ended up doing and this is how my mind works, is that we're gonna take a day and we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
We're just gonna put them up there and we're gonna so they put mine up first because I was gonna travel away. So we put mine up and I just made myself do it because it needed
Mhm.
to be done.
uh-huh,
Yeah.
And then I said, "I'm not gonna worry once it gets up there, I'm not gonna worry about, fudging around with it to see, to change this from here to there." So, I mean, it
Uh-huh.
really is, it's a mental process to actually get them
Yeah.
together and done.
Yeah.
and then she
Yeah.
left me again,
Well,
and so
yours was up on the wall.
and
I
then but
left
I
you with it up on
fidgeted.
the wall.
Oh gosh, I changed things and moved
Uh-huh.
things, and I
She
just
didn't
couldn't get it right, and
she didn't
finally I
listen
just
to me.
then I just said, "Forget it, I'm just sewing it together and getting it out of my head," so, I mean, it turned out,
Yeah.
but like
I
I
thought
was
they looked
saying like I told you, I didn't just love the panel. I liked it,
right. Right.
and I think
Yeah.
I needed to love it, and the
Yeah.
quilt looks great, done. I need
Uh-huh.
to put my binding on it, and it'll be fine, but it's I think if I had loved it, I wouldn't have wanted to put it away. I would have wanted to keep going and get it
Yeah.
done like
Yeah.
I wanted it, so,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, this one that's on the wall now, look at this. I mean, this one,
that's pretty.
it
It
I
went
love
absolutely
together
it.
is.
super fast, and I'm putting a yellow border around it. What do you think?
I
That
like
looks
it.
good.
It's gonna be really, really bright.
She'll be back.
Yeah, it's bright,
It's like you
pretty.
said, if you really like it, it's just like boom, it pops up there. And I
Yeah,
tell my students, I said, you've got to get your pieces on the wall.
Mhm.
I've got some that will just kind of put one piece up and one piece up and try to put just a few. And it's like, just get them up there,
That's right.
have
and
you
then you
used
know what, you've got to work with.
do you
Right.
use them all?
No, I
Uh,
mean, well, this one, I think I've only got one whole piece left.
Oh,
This one, because it's not a very big panel,
oh,
because it's a normal 24-inch panel.
Yeah.
okay.
If it's a
Mine was not too
24-inch
big.
panel, you don't get a lot of pieces,
Yeah,
I have
you
enough
know?
to
you had a
I
lot of extra pieces.
I
I didn't
think
have
I have
very
enough to
few.
make a quilt. Like, I have
If
enough
you
left over to do
Yeah,
something with, yeah.
if you have a panel that's 30 inches or 36 inches or something, you get a lot of hexes, and if you cut them smaller, then you get lots of hexes,
Right, right, right.
and
Now
so
now in our process, and I don't know if I can't remember if Donna did this, I think she did, but we divided, like, we went through them and put them color coded, like, together. Is
yeah,
that what you need to do?
you can, or you can just leave them row by row by row, and
Uh-huh,
then you know exactly where they came from,
okay,
and then you can just build your panel,
Mm.
you know, explode it out, but it
yeah,
depends on the panel,
Oh,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
That makes sense.
Some panels you can do that way, some you need to do by color, you know?
and you don't pay attention to how wonky the panel is, right? Because I find that they are so
Yeah, it doesn't
weird.
matter
Yeah, okay.
because you're
Okay.
gonna cut the entire panel, and one of the things I try to tell my students, I said they think, "Oh, well, it's expensive,"
Mhm,
but it's your whole quilt,
right,
you know? And
you're right,
so that's another thing too, this is your whole quilt, and how much money do you normally spend on the whole top of your quilt,
right.
Right. They're
So
actually pretty inexpensive for
yeah,
for that for that
especially if you
purpose.
get them on sale.
Yeah, exactly.
And for what you do, I mean, they're very, artistic, I think, once you get them done, so
Your quilt is actually your unique quilt. No one is ever gonna have one like yours,
yeah, that's true.
Right, right.
Yeah,
because think about how you cut it and how you turn it, twist and turn it and everything.
mhm.
No one will ever have a quilt like yours.
Yeah, one of the things she said when you're putting the hexes together in the book, she said, "Don't think about it, just put them together." But I wanted them to make a design, and I was afraid they wouldn't if I didn't pay attention to that, so
Yeah,
I
and
did it.
another thing she said is don't necessarily focus on the center, you know?
Yeah,
Um, have the
Oh,
design, the design on the outside of it, and I thought that was interesting too.
yeah, because sometimes you've gotta think about how they're gonna connect together,
Right,
and you need a certain color to connect with another color, and yeah.
right.
So it makes a difference that way too. There's
Oh,
there's a lot of thinking that goes into them, and the more I get into it, the more I realize, "Oh, let me see, let me think about this," and, I keep learning. I mean, I've been doing this for, you know, almost well, let's see, 2017, almost 10 years now, and, I keep learning. I learn something new every time I do one and
I
come up with a different way to
I
do
think
it.
I would do another one for sure,
I
now that
said
Yeah,
the
I would
first one's
not.
done.
Yeah, I said I would not, but I think I would too.
yeah,
If you
yeah,
found the right panel, you
Yeah,
could do it, yeah.
uh,
O
yeah, yeah.
okay, so, Luann, we the so we'll tell you a little story. The other night, I don't know when Mary Beth just, first communicated with you, but we were on a retreat together last week,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
we were in this big room at night, and it was not quite a hotel room, it was more like a conference room with a bathroom connected to it, so there were, like,
Uh-huh.
6 great big, fluorescent lights in the ceiling, and we were sitting on our laying in our respective beds talking about you. And so we looked you up, and we basically just stalked you on Facebook and,
yeah,
everywhere. So
everywhere.
so we know that, that you live in Seguin, Texas.
Very good, you got it right,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
see, I'm a Texas girl too.
She's a
I've driven
Texas
through
girl.
Seguin. I've got a sister that lives in Boerne, so I've
Oh,
drove
okay,
through there
okay.
from Houston there all the time. I'm also an Aggie. You went to Texas A&M,
That's right. Ni
and,
Class of 1975, I was one of the really early females at
right,
A&M.
exactly,
Cool.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was with the football team doing so well this year. I remember we used to go to the football games back in the day when Emory Bellard, Emory Ballard was
Emery
the
Ballard.
coach, and I remember my dad would say, he said, "Don't run up the middle, Ballard." I just remember that. I remember that.
We
Anyway,
didn't do so good back then.
no. So it's good that we're doing much better.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
and you were a teacher, right? Is that correct?
I was, yeah.
And you spent several years in the Northwest. Is that
We
correct?
did, yeah, 3 years, almost 3 years up there,
Oh,
which was
only 3 years. I thought it was
uh-huh,
several.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So how long have you in Seguin?
We moved here right out of college in I think in 1977.
Okay,
No.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And how long have you been a quilter?
Um, when my daughter was, expected, I won a gift certificate, a gift thing from Dil Dillard's, I think, and, I got a gift card thing, and I bought a wall hanging,
Oh,
and
mhm.
I wanted something more than a wall hanging, and so I took it. My mom was the ultimate quilter. She quilted. She loved, loved, loved quilting. And so I didn't learn quilting so much from her when I was young. I sewed clothing and stuff. But I took this wall hanging and I said, "Mom, let's make it into a bigger quilt so that I can use it in on the bed more." And so she and I took that and we enlarged it and we made it into a quilt, and I helped her, and I did a little bit of the quilting on that. That's my first experience of quilting. My daughter is now 42 years old.
Ah,
Oh,
So that was my very first experience with it. Now, I didn't do very much after that. When I really started quilting was when I was living up in the Northwest, and there was a few quilting shops up there, and I did a little bit more up there in the late 90s. And then when I came back to Texas, I did a lot more. Actually, I took a class from someone in Seguin here with someone while Robin was the kids were little, so I learned a little bit more, but I did a lot more up in the late 90s and really took off around the early 2000 or so. And so I figure about 30 years I've really been in it and just gotten more and more into it since in those 30 years.
excellent, excellent. And
Yeah.
do you teach other classes besides the, One Block Wonders?
Um, what I do a lot more of, I can show you right here. Um, this is who teach mainly. Um, The
oh,
Bienni stuff.
Oh, okay, the
Yeah,
bag. So you're a bag
yeah,
lady.
yeah. I
pennies.
do
Right.
yep, I consider the bag lady over at the quilt shop over there's a quilt shop over in Luling. Do you know Luling?
Uh-huh.
There's a lady that moved from Houston. She and her husband moved over here. Her name is Denise Green, and she opened a shop in Luling, and it's a fabulous shop. It's called Holly D Quilts. And I was there the day they opened, and I had a purse that I had made, and they looked at it and they said, "Oh, I like your purse." And "Did you make it?" And I said, "Yes, I did." "Oh, would you like to teach it?" And it wasn't, by any, but it was just another one. And I said, well, I don't know." And I had just retired right before that, and I started teaching that, and then I got into the Bienni bags, and I've been teaching there since they opened about, I don't know, 8 or 9, 10 years ago. So, I do a lot of bags, but then the One Block Wonder is the quilt that I
The
do.
quilts
So,
that you do,
yeah.
yeah. That's interesting. I,
Yeah.
we we don't do bags well at all. So that's another thing I try to get Mary Beth to help me do is bags, but I haven't done
Yeah.
too many of
Yeah.
them.
We did, purchase one, it was a project bag that had the clear vinyl on the
Mhm,
front,
mhm.
and we were at a retreat, and Donna had to leave, and so,
She
Yeah,
leaves you a lot.
she does all the time. She just leaves me. So, the other girl that was at the retreat with us, our other friend, she and I popped it out and started working on it. We were all gonna do
Uh-huh.
it together, and Donna didn't make it. So we did it, and, uh, I had never worked with that vinyl stuff before,
Mhm.
and I promised to never do it again. Oh, my binding around the edge of it is just all over the place, and I said, "Ugh," and then by the time it started getting icky, then I was like, "I just gotta get this done," you know?
Uh-huh.
So that was
Uh-huh.
my focus, was just get it done, and
Just get it
I
done.
love it. I mean, it's Tula pink fabric, it's
Oh,
really
yeah.
cute,
Yeah.
but, I've never used it. I need to use it. Oh, there it is. I need to use it. It's just been hanging on a doorknob, as
Uh-huh.
decoration instead of
Yeah. Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
The bags have really
Well,
taken off recently. It seems like,
yeah.
a lot of the stores
yeah.
just put a lot of focus on that now. I think it's because there's so much fun fabric out there that
Mhm.
Yeah.
isn't
Yeah.
necessarily, um, just for quilts, you know what I guess what
Right.
I'm saying,
Yeah,
so
or not like denim, like the bags they made out of denim and stuff. There's some really cute stuff out
Sure.
there now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And there's a
So
and
you've been
like
busy
at the quilt
since
yeah, I was gonna say at the quilt show,
oh,
there's a lot of people touting the bags and stuff, so it's not just quilts, so
uh-huh.
but yeah, so I did a class with Ricky Timms, and, I was doing
Yay.
that at the time that he won his huge, the quilt show, and and then we had him at Holly D the day that the quilt show ended, and so that was fun, and, I talked to him a whole lot, him and Hugo a lot while we were at the show because I knew we were gonna have him come to the class with him, and I kept going up and making myself almost a pest with him. And Hugo kept on saying, "It's you. You're here. You're here again." And so he was, and so I got him to the point that at when we were there to pick up our quilts, he was right behind me, and I went up to him. I said, "So Hugo, did you see?" Or oh, I had my quilt when I picked up my quilt. I walked back to them, and I had my quilt, and Ricky said. Uh, I said, "There's no blue eyes showing, but it's him. I know it's him." And Ricky said, "Oh, the quilt with the blue eyes. I saw him. I like that quilt." He was like, "Yes." That was cool. That was
Yay.
nice to have. I knew they
Yeah.
had seen it because Hugo had told me they had seen it. So, but they went around and I think they saw it Sunday morning when they had Libby with them. Libby
Oh,
Lehman
yeah,
was
yeah,
with them. Yeah.
excellent. I
So
was
that was cool.
I was so glad to see that he won Best of Show.
Yeah.
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 That's a good old throwback, you know? He's been
Uh huh.
around since the beginning, it seems like.
Yeah,
That's
we were
true.
happy to see that. Yeah.
It was an amazing,
Yeah.
amazing quilt for sure, and to get to see it in
Yeah.
person was just something
Oh, I bet.
amazing too. Yeah,
Mhm.
Do
yeah.
you generally go to a festival every year?
I have been going to festival for years, because I'm just 2 hours away, and, I used to go when I was still teaching. I would arrange my schedule on Friday afternoon with my principal so that I could leave early and go and take a class on Friday evening and then be able to do the show on Saturday and Sunday, and, yeah, I've been
Yeah.
going for years and years,
Yeah.
and now I go on Mondays. I start on Monday and I take classes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I do the show, early link, early entrance on Wednesday night, and I was only there Wednesday night and Thursday. I didn't stay for the weekend
Yeah,
this time.
yeah.
So,
I
um,
I got the quilting bug by going when I went to a festival with my friend. Well, I used to live in Houston, and she would go every year,
mhm.
and I'm like, I don't yeah, quilting, nah."
Yeah,
And I went in
Yeah.
1998, and that was the first year that they started, using like the HP, photo paper where you could or photo fabric where you could put it through the computer or put it through the printer and
Mhm.
print out the pictures, and so
Yeah.
that's how and so I was my parents were gonna have their 50th anniversary 2 years after that, so I figured I had 2 years to
To learn how to do
learn
it. Uh-huh.
how to do it, so that
Yeah.
was my first first experience with it, and then I used to when we lived in Colorado for several years, and I would take the first flight out on Friday morning and
Mhm.
and then I'd take the last flight out on Friday afternoon 'cause
Yeah.
I was a long arm quilter, so that was a busy
Oh,
time of the
yeah.
year. So
Sure.
I
Yeah.
couldn't really take the time off, but I would take that one day off and fly down
We
and fly
passed
back.
we passed on the sidewalk one year, like,
Yeah.
I hugged Donna as she was leaving,
Yeah.
and I was coming, I'm like,
Mhm.
"Hey,"
Mhm. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the last time I was at Houston, Houston had won the World Series, and the
And
parade
that's
was the
hard.
day I got there.
Yeah.
It was really bad. My hotel was just down the street, like 4 or
Mhm.
5 blocks. So I left my suitcase, I checked my bag at the show when I got there, and I walked
Right.
around, and then when it was time to go, I wanted to get to the room before it got too dark or anything like that, and I took off, and the parade had just broke apart. Ah! And so there were a billion people, and here I am running to my hotel dragging a suitcase, and
Right, right.
lady
Craziness.
was trying to talk to me, and I'm like, "I don't know you, I gotta go,"
We don't care about the Astros.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, no seats or whatever, I don't know. Anyway,
So,
yeah,
Oh. Okay,
um,
I have to tell you about my book that I was producing
okay,
that
good.
and
yes.
why it came to be. So, I 2 years ago, because 'cause I'm 72 now, and so 2 years ago, I was gonna well, 3, I guess. I was gonna turn 70, and my husband, was trying to decide what he was gonna do for me for my birthday, and he decided that he was gonna do something special for me for quilting. He was gonna produce because I have most of my quilts. My kids don't want my quilts. They live in Houston. They don't need a lot of quilts. So I have a lot of my quilts. When I say a lot, I'll tell you. Uh,
You know now.
so so he said, other people don't get to see your quilts because he said, I see them, but other people don't get to see your quilts. So we're going to have a quilt show. And so he contacted the church here. We have it has an activity center, like a gym, it has carpet on the walls. And we contacted them and we let us use the gym. And we put on a quilt show and we invited our friends and we sent out invitations to them or gave them out to everybody and said, "You're invited to come and see our quilts." And we had it on the weekend of my birthday in August, and we hung a little over 75 quilts
Wow.
Wow.
on the walls. We had some friends come, and our kids came and helped us set it all up. And he said I was gonna try and do it as a surprise, but he realized he couldn't do it because I actually did a write-up on every quilt that
Oh,
we hung and about when we did it, what year, why, and everything, and, did a print and put it next to the quilt, and we hung them all around the room, and then out in the center of the room, they figured out how to do a bunch in the middle, and we had about 100 people come to the show,
oh,
and I had some surprises from some friends and that came to see it that from out of town that found out about it, and they surprised me, and that was really special, and so our son is a photographer, and so he went around and took pictures of all the quilts, and so what I was producing this weekend through Shutterfly was a book of all those quilts pictures,
that's
and,
awesome.
I listed all Oh, I went through and decided, okay, well, I'm going to list all my awards that I've gotten over the years, and went back because I have all my ribbons and stuff and realized I've been entering them in one contest or another since 2006. And so I
Oh,
found all that out, and I listed a bunch of stuff about my tiger. And so the book is going to be a super book. So, but
Excellent.
the birthday show was something really, really special. So
now
that
how's
was
he
neat.
gonna top that?
I know.
He should have
well,
thought that through.
well, this year was our 50th wedding anniversary,
Oh,
and we have been traveling all over the place. We started last December, and we went to the Caribbean on a cruise. We went with the Traveling Aggies to Japan, and then we went to Zion National Park in May with our kids.
cool.
And then we went to Norway and the Baltic countries in June. And then we did a road scholar trip in August and September. And then then I did the quilt show. So
Yeah,
this has
busy
been
year.
an amazing year.
I guess.
And one of those trips, John, he did an anniversary card for me every day of the trip.
Oh
So
my gosh.
Oh,
he continues to amaze me. Yeah.
I guess.
Wow.
That's
That
awesome.
that is awesome. That's
Yeah.
great.
So, and he supports the quilting tremendously. In fact, he runs our long arm. So
Oh, fun.
he has a part
Cool.
in it. So yeah, yeah.
Excellent, excellent.
So he does not quilt the major quilts. We have those done by someone with a computerized machine. But yeah,
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. The family that quilts together stays together,
yep,
I guess.
that's the truth. 50 years.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, I have to say this has been very enjoyable. I'm glad Mary Beth, had her act together and contacted you because like I said, after the quilt show, I mean, actually during the quilt show, I saw several people share photos of your quilt and talking about
Oh,
how
yeah.
amazing it
Yeah,
was. So,
that's what I found out.
yeah.
I've had I got contacted by someone in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. It's like, "Do you really wanna
Yeah.
pay for me to come to South Dakota? Really?" 2 times because I do my class 2 different days, 2 different times. So, it's like, I'm not sure I'm gonna hear back from them, but,
Well, that's
so
fun. That's fun.
it's amazing who
You
has
never
seen
know.
that quilt. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, it's amazing. So, yeah,
Well,
it's pretty exciting.
we really appreciate you spending the time with us today, and,
Yeah,
we look
thank you.
forward to seeing what comes next.
Yeah,
That was so nice to meet you.
yeah, it's nice to talk with y'all. I've got my Halloween quilt. I showed y'all the Halloween quilt. That one's I can't wait to get that one back. It's at the quilters now.
Fun,
So
fun.
I'm not sure it's gonna make it
Yeah.
back for Halloween, but we'll see.
You're early for next year. You're early for
You
Yeah,
next
never
year.
yeah.
know.
So we'll see. And then I have another one in the works that has elephants.
Oh,
So we'll see how that one
Oh,
goes.
cool,
yeah.
Yeah,
cool,
that's a really neat one too. So we'll see.
Maybe.
cool.
Oh, yeah. But thanks a lot.
Yeah,
I
well, thanks
enjoyed
for joining
talking to
us,
you.
and,
Yeah,
we will keep following you.
yeah. Maybe I'll see you in Houston one day.
That sounds like a
Yeah.
plan.
All right.
Okay,
Thank
thank you
you
for
so
joining
much.
us. Sure,
Thank
bye-bye.
you. Oh,
Bye.
sure. Bye-bye.
That was a long one today. Sorry, folks. We'll be shorter next time. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you next time.